Wherever you are tonight, whether you're curling up under a thick blanket or just letting your mind wander through the quiet, I'm so glad you're here. Outside the world might still be busy, but in here, it's just you, me, and a story long forgotten. Imagine a dim room, flickering with the soft glow of a candle. Somewhere far away in time, maybe there's a faint scent of smoke in the air, or the creak of old wood beneath your steps. You can let it all go now, the tension, the noise, because tonight we're taking a small journey together. Just one day in the life of someone who was never famous, someone who never made it into history books, but they lived, worked, endured, and tonight you'll live that day too. No fantasy, no fiction, just a quiet thread of truth gently unraveled. So now, close your eyes, slow your breath, and let's begin. If tonight you opened your eyes and found yourself somewhere else, not in your bed, not in this century, but on a patch of straw in the quiet before dawn, what would you feel first? Maybe it's the cold, that deep biting kind, the kind that seeps through cloth, through skin, through sleep. Beneath you, the floor is hard, uneven, not wood, not stone, just earth. You try to stretch, but your back resists, and your breath, white and slow, curls into the air like a ghost. You're lying beneath a wool blanket, scratchy and heavy with damp, the same one you've used for too many winters. There's no pillow, just your own arm, stiff from sleep and straw, and around you in the dark are the bodies, breathing, shifting, a snore, a cough, a whispered prayer, maybe family, maybe neighbours, maybe someone who never left after last year's frost. You don't speak, you just lie still, listening to the wind groaning against the thatched roof. Somewhere a chicken stirs. Then the sound, that bell. Not music, not melody, just a clang, sharp, sudden, ancient. It's the church calling out the hour, reminding the village that even in this half-dark life is waiting. You sit up slowly, bones cracking, knees groaning. You're not sick, you're not old, but you're 23, which here means halfway done. Your clothes are beside you, crumpled, still damp from yesterday's rain. A tunic, thick wool, not clean. It never is. No one here speaks of clean. You pull it over your shoulders. It smells like wood smoke skin and something else. Something tired. Your feet slide into worn boots softened from years and holes. Or maybe you're barefoot today. The ground bites either way. You walk toward the door, or what passes for one, a slab of wood that groans like a tired ox. And as it opens, the air greets you with a sigh. The world outside is still asleep, but not quiet. Chickens fuss in the coop. Smoke curls up from a distant roof, and your breath floats. You step out careful. The mud is slick from yesterday, or the day before, or the one before that. You stopped keeping track. The morning smells like wet hay and cooked cabbage, like a village waking up in slow motion. No engines, no alarms, just the sound of feet on frozen dirt, and the wind. It always finds you here. You glance toward the church steeple barely visible in the fog, then to the small bucket by the door. You'll need it. Nature calls, and here she doesn't whisper. There's no bathroom, no seat, no paper, just a place, just enough. You carry the bucket to the back, the same way you always have, the same way your mother did, and probably her mother too. It's full, again. Someone's turnip stew didn't sit well. You hold your breath, do what must be done, and when it's finished, you toss it into the alley with a muttered watch out. That's what you're supposed to say. Not that anyone ever moves fast enough. You rinse the bucket with water from a barrel. The water's cold, sharp, unkind, but at least it doesn't talk back. And then, back inside. The others are stirring now. Faces familiar, but unnamed. Everyone moves slowly, like they're afraid the day will hurt if they wake it too fast. The fire is out. You'll need to light it again. You crouch low, strike flint, blow softly, like coaxing a secret. Smoke curls up, lazy and slow, and the coals catch. There it is. Warmth maybe, hope almost. A pot goes on, pottage, always pottage. A bubbling mess of what's left. Thick grey, maybe a root or two, if someone remembered to dig. It smells like something. Not bad, not good, just warm. You sit by the hearth bowl and hand sip without tasting. Bread follows, hard as stone crust like bark. You chew. Slowly, carefully. It's not a meal, it's emotion. The sky outside begins to shift. Dark to grey, grey to pale, and the village breathes again. There are chores, always. A well to draw from. A field to touch, a child to hush. The day is just beginning. But already you feel it pressing on your spine, like an old friend who doesn't knock anymore. And still you move. You always do, because here, in this life, you don't wake up for dreams. You wake up to survive, and that is enough. You open your eyes, and the world hasn't warmed up yet. Not even a little. The air is still, and not the poetic kind of still. It's the kind that slips under your skin and makes your bones feel older than they should. There's no sunlight, just a hint of something grey where the door doesn't quite fit its frame. You pull the blanket closer, but it's not much of a blanket. More like a heavy sheet of woven itchiness, soaked with months of sleep sweat and silence. It smells like wool earth and something you gave up trying to name weeks ago. You sit up slowly. Your spine creaks like the floorboards of a haunted attic. Your knees whisper secrets of every uneven step you've taken in the fields. You're not sick, just tired in that permanent ancient way. Your breath rises soft and pale. It curls like smoke in the cold. The others are still asleep, or pretending. It's hard to tell. A brother, a cousin, a neighbour, all crammed into the same space, like memories packed in a box too small to close. No one speaks, there's nothing to say. The fire's gone out, it always does. You wrap your tunic tighter, rough, itchy, worn. It's been yours for 3 winters, and maybe 3 more before it falls apart, like everything else. There's no soap, no wardrobe, no choices. Just this layer of cloth and cold you carry like a second skin. You move slowly, not out of laziness, but because speed invites pain. And today, like every day, you're trying to avoid the little injuries that build into something worse. You step outside, the door creaks, groans really, like it doesn't want to be part of this either. Outside, the ground is wet. The mist clings to your ankles soft and cold, like an apology from nature. Somewhere far off, you hear a rooster that sounds just as unenthusiastic about the morning as you feel. You walk carefully across the yard, barefoot maybe, or in shoes that no longer protect. The dirt is familiar, mud, frost, manure. A blend you could recognize with your eyes closed, and sometimes you do. You reach the side of the hut where a wooden bucket waits. Your version of a bathroom. It's not private, it's not clean, it just is. And that in this world is good enough. When you're done, you toss the contents far enough to not smell, but not far enough to forget. You whisper, watch out, even though no one's listening. A ritual more than a warning. Back inside, someone's stirring. A cough, a grunt, the sound of a bed of straw surrendering under weight. There's no breakfast waiting, no table set, no scent of coffee or cinnamon, just a pot. A dented blackened pot hanging above a fire you haven't started yet. You crouch, strike flint, blow gently, smoke curls, ember glows, the beginning of warmth, the beginning of hope. You drop in what you have, barley, maybe a carrot end, a handful of wilted leaves. It simmers into pottage. Again, you stir slowly. The smell is familiar, not pleasant, not unpleasant. Just the way mornings smell. The others gather, no greetings, just presence. And bowls wooden, cracked passed down like stories no one enjoys telling. You eat, slowly, not for taste, not for joy, but because it's the first thing your body expects. The bread, it's harder today. You chew, and still it resists. Your jaw aches before your stomach feels anything. You drink beer, thin bitter, barely alcohol, but safer than the water which always seems to carry a surprise. You glance out the window, or the place where a window would be if glass existed in your world. Just cloth flapping slightly damp from the dew. The village is waking. You hear it. Buckets sloshing, hooves clapping against stone, children whining without real energy, dogs barking just because. And somewhere beyond all that, the bell again. That heavy, hollow sound of religious routine, calling, demanding, reminding. You don't rush, but you don't delay either, because the day doesn't wait. And if you miss your rhythm, you miss your chance. To gather, to fix, to feed. The world outside isn't cruel, it's just indifferent. It doesn't care if you're cold, if you're hungry, if you slept badly or woke up afraid of the silence between heartbeats. It simply continues. And so do you. You clean the bowl, not with soap, but with a scrap of rough cloth and yesterday's tea water. You tie your hair back, not with a ribbon, but with a piece of string from a sack of onions. You take a breath. It doesn't help, but you do it anyway. And then you step out. The air greets you again, like it never left. Your shoulders brace, your feet find their path, and once more you begin the act of existing in a world that doesn't pause, but still, somehow, you do. You carry something with you, not strength exactly, more like a stubbornness dressed as grace. And though no one says it out loud, though no one records it, you matter. In this quiet corner of history, you're the heartbeat beneath the noise, the breath between the bell tolls, the name that was never written, but never disappeared. The morning is hard, the air is sharp, but you are still here, moving, breathing, enduring, and that perhaps is more than enough. The pot begins to bubble, not with excitement, not with anticipation, just duty. A thick stew of yesterday and the day before, barley maybe, a root or two, something vaguely green. You stir it slowly. The wooden spoon is cracked at the edge, worn smooth by repetition. The motion is automatic, around and around, to keep it from sticking, to keep it from burning, to keep it moving even if everything else stands still. The smell is familiar, not pleasant, not unpleasant, just what mornings smell like boiled history, the kind that lingers in wool and memory. The pottage doesn't invite, it just exists, like the floor or the cold. You ladle it into bowls, old chipped past from one hand to another without ceremony. There's no discussion of who gets more, no complaints, no gratitude. Everyone knows this meal is not for joy, it's for continuing. You sit, you take your first bite, it's warm. That's something not delicious. But warmth counts for a lot in a world that rarely offers comfort. You chew slowly, the texture is thick, almost sticky, like something caught between food and thought. The bread beside it is hard, truly hard. You knock it against the bowl, it thuds, you sigh softly, not in disappointment, but in recognition. You've eaten this same bread for days now, maybe longer. It's not moldy, not spoiled, just old, dry, resistant. You bite carefully. Your teeth protest, your jaw tightens, but you keep chewing because you have to, because this is what you do. Someone coughs nearby. Someone else mutters something you can't quite hear. The air feels heavier than it did before. The steam from the pot drifts upward in lazy curls. For a moment, it looks like a memory trying to rise, but it fades before it reaches the ceiling. You drink from a wooden cup. Beer, if it can be called that. Thin, flat, slightly sour, but it's safer than the water, which is always suspicious, always ready to betray. You sip, you swallow, you feel it sit in your belly like a quiet stone, not satisfying, but present. You look down at your hands, rough, cracked, lines of labor carved into your skin, dirt beneath your nails. You rub your thumb across a callus, and it doesn't feel like anything anymore. Just another layer, another shield. The others eat in silence, not an awkward silence, not an angry one, just a kind of collective stillness, a shared awareness that this is what it is, that this is enough for now. A spoon scrapes a bowl, a child hiccups. Someone chuckles at nothing in particular. It's not happiness, but it's not sadness either. It's just existence. You take another bite. The stew is lukewarm now. The bread hasn't softened. Your jaw aches from chewing. Your shoulders feel heavier than they should, but you keep going, one bite at a time, because that's what the day expects. You wipe your mouth with the back of your hand. The cloth is reserved for better occasions, if such occasions ever come. You gather the bowls, rinse them with grey water from a shared basin. It's not clean, but cleaner than before. You stack them quietly. The pot is returned to its place, waiting for evening, waiting to repeat. You look around. The others begin to stand. No rush, no chatter, just movement, just rhythm. You place your hands on the table, feel the grooves carved by years. This wood has seen more mornings than you, and it remembers none of them. Before stepping outside, you pause, just briefly. You listen to the wind brushing against the door. You watch a speck of steam rise from the pot, dissolve, disappear. And in that tiny moment, you feel something close to peace. Not comfort, not satisfaction, just peace. And that is rare enough to be noticed. You pull your shawl tighter. The air hasn't warmed. The ground outside will still be damp. The sky will still be grey. But you've eaten. You've filled the space inside you where emptiness would have grown. And now you rise, not with strength, but with continuity. You walk to the door, open it slowly, let the cold meet your skin like a whisper. You don't flinch. You've met this chill before. You know its name, and you step into the morning once more. Not because it's easy, but because it's what you do. Quiet, steady, without applause, without announcement. You continue, as you always have, in softness and in stillness. Your clothes don't wait for you. They sit in the corner like a folded version of yesterday, damp, cold, and quietly judgmental. You pick them up and feel the chill seep into your fingers. Wool thick and scratchy, not because it's old, but because it's never been soft. It never had a chance to be. You slide it over your skin like armor. Not for protection, but for expectation. This is what you wear. This is what you always wear. The same tunic, the same sleeves, the same stiffness. Your underlayer, if you have one, clings to your skin, carrying the scent of sweat and smoke and weeks without soap. And your skin, it doesn't protest anymore. It just itches, not in a sharp, sudden way, but in that deep, relentless way that feels like it comes from somewhere beneath the surface. A constant whisper that something is wrong, but not wrong enough to stop. You scratch your shoulder, then your arm, then behind your knee, but it doesn't help. Not really. It never does. There's no cream, no powder, no bath waiting to rinse it all away. Just this slow, steady itch that follows you like a shadow. You glance at your boots. One is missing a lace. The other has a hole the size of your thumb. You wiggle your toes inside, hoping for warmth, but instead you get dampness, cold, a reminder that your feet are always just one misstep away from blisters or rot. You step outside. The sun is barely breaking through the clouds. A faint light, thin and grey, brushes across the thatched roofs and the wet ground. It doesn't warm, it only reveals. And what it reveals is you and others like you. Bent-backed, slow-moving, wrapped in layers of filth and fabric. You see a neighbour, maybe 30, maybe 50, hard to tell anymore. He carries a sack over his shoulder, coughs into his sleeve, and walks like the day has already ended. You nod. He doesn't nod back. Not because he's rude, just because nodding requires energy. And today, energy is expensive. You pass the goat pen. The animals are restless. Their ribs show through patchy fur. Their bleats are hoarse like they're complaining out of habit. You understand them. You feel that same dull protest in your chest. Not anger, not sadness, just weariness. You make your way toward the shed, a place where wood is chopped, tools are kept, things are done without question. The door creaks. Inside, the air smells like mold and metal. You reach for a basket. Straw lines the bottom. Not clean straw, just dry enough. You bend down, your knees pop. A familiar sound now, almost comforting. You lift a bundle of rags, the ones you'll hang, to air out in hopes the wind might do what water and soap can't. And then a pause, that feeling again, that slow crawl across your back. You reach under your tunic and scratch hard. The relief is immediate and short-lived. You know what it is, lice, or maybe mites, or maybe just your body fighting itself after too long in the same clothes, the same dirt, the same sweat. You scratch again and again. Your nails find a scab. You press too hard. It stings. You stop because blood draws attention. Infection, questions, and you don't have time for questions. You stand up, adjust your belt. It used to fit tighter. Maybe you've shrunk, or maybe the leather stretched from years of wrapping around you like a memory that won't let go. You walk back into the light. The wind catches the edge of your shawl. It flaps, then settles. The day continues. And so do you. It's not dramatic. It's not heroic. It's just motion, repeated over and over until it becomes a shape of your life. And still, the itch lingers. At your neck, under your arms, between your toes. The kind of itch that becomes part of you. Like your shadow, like your name, like the morning itself. You keep moving, not because you're in a hurry, but because stopping means noticing. And noticing brings discomfort into focus. So you don't stop. You walk past the well, past the stacked firewood, past a pair of children chasing a chicken through the mud. Their laughter is thin, worn, more habit than joy. One of them trips and lands hard. No one gasps, no one rushes, just a pause, and then motion again. Because pain here is part of growing. Like the itch, like the hunger, like the quiet that follows a long silence. You continue toward the side field. The grass is damp. Your boots press into the earth and leave behind soft imprints that fade within minutes. The soil is heavy. The tools are heavier. You find the spade. Its handle is smooth from hands just like yours. Generations of work carved invisibly into the wood. You grasp it. Feel the familiarity in its weight. Then you dig. Not because you expect treasure, but because the ground needs opening. Always. The blade cuts into the dirt. You feel it through your arms, your shoulders, your spine. The movement is slow, repetitive. The kind of labor that doesn't require thinking, just endurance. Every few minutes, you stop to catch your breath. You wipe your brow with your sleeve. The fabric leaves behind more sweat than it takes away. You blink. The sky has shifted slightly, still grey, but now with a hint of movement. A breeze soft and persistent lifts your hair and brushes your cheek. For a moment, it feels like a gesture, not of kindness, but of recognition. You stand upright, stretch your arms. They ache, not sharply, but deeply, as if your muscles remember every stroke of every day. A dog barks in the distance. A rooster calls out again, late or lazy, you're not sure. You scratch the back of your leg. The itch is still there, in the same spot. It's always the same spot. It's as if your body is whispering, something is missing, something is unclean. You want to laugh, because you already know that. It's not news, it's your reality. A layer of irritation you carry like a second skin. You take a breath. It catches in your throat, dust, pollen, memory. You cough once, then again. No one hears it. Or if they do, no one responds. Not because they don't care, but because coughs come and go, like rain, like visitors, like years. You lean on the spade. Let the handle support your weight for a moment. You think about the last time you were clean, truly clean, skin scrubbed, hair rinsed, fingernails clear. You can't remember, not exactly, it's a blur, a dream maybe, something that happened once, in another version of your life, or someone else's life entirely. You blink again, the wind picks up, a loose strand of hair sticks to your lips. You pull it back. Your fingers brush your temple. You feel the dryness there, a scab. You didn't even notice it before. You press it gently. It stings. You don't flinch. You just acknowledge it, like another small truth you didn't ask for. You return to the task, dig, lift, turn, repeat. The soil is heavy, but it listens. It opens to your effort. Not generously, but predictably. And in that predictability, there is a strange kind of comfort, a rhythm, a loop, a certainty that if you do this and do it again and again, the field will be ready. The season will pass. The food will grow, maybe, hopefully, possibly. You pause, wipe your forehead. Your sleeve is damp now. It leaves behind more dirt than it removes. You scratch your neck. Slowly, the itch there is deeper, almost like it's under the skin, like it belongs to the bones. You wonder if it will ever go away. Then you stop wondering, because wondering takes energy, and you need that energy just to keep going. You carry the spade back toward the shed. Your arms feel heavier now, not from the weight, but from the repetition. It's not the labor that wears you down. It's the knowing that it never truly ends. You set the tool against the wall. It leans there tired as you. The sky above is shifting again, the grey giving way to something brighter, not quite sun, but suggestion. The wind is restless. It swirls through the village, lifting dust, tugging at cloaks, making doors creak, just enough to feel like ghosts might be nearby. You scratch your arm again, absent-mindedly. The itch hasn't left. It changes places, migrates, becomes part of your rhythm. A tiny reminder that comfort is always a bit out of reach. You think about water, real water, a bath, a stream, the kind of clean that doesn't just touch the skin, but soaks through the bones. It's been too long, the well is low, the river is far, and even if you reached it, would you trust it? You've heard stories, fever, rash, the kind that starts small and ends in prayers. You shake your head softly. Not today, not this week, not in this lifetime. Someone walks past you, a woman, perhaps your age, perhaps older. It's hard to tell when everyone carries the same weariness in their eyes. She nods. You nod back. That's enough. That's the whole conversation, shared understanding in a world that never stops to explain. You head toward the back fence, a place where linens are hung to dry, if they can be called linens. Cloth, stained, torn, washed in rainwater and hope. You touch one still damp, smells like smoke and something sour. You don't wince, you just notice, and you keep moving. A thread catches on your wrist. It pulls, you stop, gently unwind it. That's life here. Threads pulling, skin catching, you adjusting. You scratch your side, beneath the layers, beneath the memory of comfort. The itch feels deeper now, not just under your skin, but behind your breath, inside your bones, the kind of irritation that can't be solved, only accepted. You exhale slowly, let the sound trail off into the wind. You close your eyes, just for a moment, not to rest, but to forget. And in that stillness, you almost feel weightless. Not free, not light, just untethered. But then the cold reminds you. It finds the space between your collar and your neck. It slips down your spine. You open your eyes, scratch again, adjust the shawl, take a step, then another, and the spell is broken. You head back toward the hut. Not because you're done, but because there's always something else. The pot might need stoking, the floor might need sweeping, or maybe someone is calling, or coughing, or crying, and you, as always, will answer. You pass by a mirror, not made of glass, just a polished piece of tin. You glance, your reflection stares back, tired, pale, eyes rimmed in redness, skin marked by life. There's a scratch near your collarbone. You don't remember making it, but it's there. A mark of the day, of the itch, of the small battles you fight without telling anyone. You touch it gently. It doesn't hurt. It just reminds you that you're still here, still breathing, still inside this body that holds so much fatigue and yet keeps going. You enter the doorway. The room is dim, the fire has faded, but the smell of warmth lingers. You close the door behind you, sit near the hearth. And for a brief moment, you let your hands fall into your lap. You don't move, you don't speak, you don't scratch. You just exist in that fragile, fleeting peace that comes between one task and the next. And in that silence, you realize you're still carrying everything, every scratch, every ache, every breath, but also a quiet kind of strength, one that doesn't shout, doesn't shine, it just remains. Like you, the sun has finally broken through, not brightly, not triumphantly, just enough to remind you that day has fully arrived. The grey has shifted into a pale yellow smear across the horizon. It doesn't warm your skin, but it announces something. There's no turning back now. You step into the light, soft, muted, thin as parchment. The air is cool, but no longer bitter. Your body, already sore from the morning chores, braces itself for what comes next. You walk past the well again, its rope frayed from years of pulling water, with more hope than ease. You see your reflection in the surface, just briefly, just enough to notice your face, drawn, wind-kissed, with that layer of muddy stillness that never washes away. A child passes by, carrying a bucket twice their size. No one helps, no one interferes, because here, help is a currency few can afford. You nod at them. They don't look up. Their shoulders already understand what yours have known for years. You reach the barn, or what's left of it, a structure patched from memories and rotting wood. Inside, tools hang like ghosts, waiting, heavy, familiar. You choose a rake. Its handle is splintered but strong. You wrap your fingers around it and feel the weight settle across your palm. It's the same weight you've carried since childhood, not just of tools, but of responsibility, of repetition, of time that moves in circles. Outside, the field stretches in waves of brown and gold. Dirt clumps between patches of stubborn weed. The wind flattens it all in long, slow sighs. You step into the earth. It accepts you without welcome, just expectation. You drag the rake. Each pull leaves lines, temporary scars on the land, like a message in a language no one speaks anymore. You go row by row, thoughtless, methodical. Your arms swing, your back bends, your breath follows a rhythm that doesn't match the clock it follows labor. The only timekeeper you've ever truly known. Sweat gathers quickly. It soaks through your underlayers, clings to your skin, then cools, making you shiver even while you work. You don't complain, you don't pause, because you know that pausing makes it harder to start again. And so you continue. The rake clinks against a stone. You kneel, dig it out with your fingers, toss it aside, and stand back up. Your knees creak, your back pulses, but you don't stop. Not yet. A boy in the next row is gathering weeds into a basket. He looks over once. You smile. He doesn't return it, just nods. That's all, that's enough. You both understand the contract. You dig, you lift, you carry, you endure, and no one applauds. The sky above stays colourless. The breeze carries dust into your mouth. You taste earth. It's not unpleasant. It's just a flavour of survival. A rooster cries again from somewhere behind the hill, late again, or confused like everyone else. You scratch your wrist absent-mindedly. The itch hasn't left. It's blended into the movement now, a part of the landscape, like the weeds, like the blisters. You tug your sleeve down, grip the rake tighter, pull again. Each motion draws something out of you, energy, memory, skin, and yet something remains, something silent, something unyielding. You reach the edge of the field, turn around, start the next row. The line behind you looks neat, tidy, controlled, but your body feels none of that. Only fatigue, only the heaviness of repeating the same action, not because it's meaningful, but because it's necessary. You hear someone call from the shed. It's a woman's voice, low, steady. You wave, not lifting your arm too high. There's no need. She sees you. You see her. The connection is brief, but true. You're not alone. You never are. But solitude, the inner kind, still finds you. Even in the field. Especially in the field. Because labor, as loud as it looks, happens in silence. Inside your body, inside your breath, inside your thoughts that barely finish before the next task interrupts. You blink. The sun has shifted again, slightly higher, slightly brighter, but you still feel the chill, the ache, the dull persistence of a life built on cycles. And as you start your next row, you whisper something, maybe a prayer, maybe nothing, just breath, shaped like words, dissolving into the wind. Your hands start to go numb, not from cold, but from repeated strain, the kind that doesn't scream, just hums beneath your skin like a dull, ancient memory. You roll your shoulders once. The bones protest. The muscles tighten, then loosen just enough to allow you to keep going. You glance toward the village. Smoke from a few chimneys rises in narrow lines, curling toward a sky that still doesn't care whether you're hungry or full, tired or awake, breathing or not. You hear a cough echo down the hill. Not yours, not close. Just another reminder that everyone is fighting their own quiet battles. You return your focus to the row in front of you. Your feet have sunk slightly into the damp soil. You shift, lift, pull. Each movement is deliberate, but drained of emotion. Not robotic, just seasoned, worn, calculated to conserve. You switch hands. The left is weaker, but the right is throbbing now. A steady pulse at the base of your thumb that matches your heartbeat in the worst way. You flex your fingers. They resist, then obey. The rake scrapes another line into the field, another mark, another step forward. You don't think about lunch or rest or escape. You think only of the task, the weight, the need to finish, because finishing, even when temporary, gives shape to a life that's often formless. Your breath shortens, your back curves, but you've done this so many times. The pain blends into posture. You wonder, briefly, what your spine used to feel like, before the labor, before the hunch, before your shadow started to look older than your body. You pause to drink from a flask, water this time barely cools slightly, metallic. But it wets your mouth, loosens your throat, wakes something in your chest. You close your eyes for just a second, and in that darkness, you feel the weight of the morning settle across your shoulders, like a blanket made of dust and duty. Someone passes behind you, their footsteps heavy, their breath louder than yours. You don't turn, you don't speak, but you both know you're part of the same pattern, the same rhythm, different bodies, same burden. You take another step, rake another row. A bird calls overhead, sharp, brief, the kind of sound that makes you glance up just to remember the sky is still there, wide, unreachable. You feel a bead of sweat slide down your temple. It clings for a moment, then drops into the soil, disappearing as if it never existed. Like so many efforts, like so many names. You grip the handle again, firmer this time. Your palms are raw, but the pain is manageable. The kind you welcome, The kind that reminds you you're not broken, just used, and still functional. You pass by a patch of grass where someone once planted herbs. It's mostly withered now, but you spot a hint of green, a brave leaf thin and curled reaching up. Despite the odds, it gives you nothing. No food, no scent. But it reminds you, not everything has stopped trying. You keep going, not because of hope, but because of momentum. Because motion is the only thing that holds you together. If you stop, you might unravel. So you don't. You drag the rake, lift a rock, wipe your nose, blink grit from your eyes, and pull again. The sun creeps higher, a little more golden now, but the color doesn't warm you. It just changes the shadows, makes your silhouette stretch longer behind you, like a second self, tired, bowed, patient. You pause to stretch your hands, shake out your wrists, scratch a spot near your elbow where the wool is rubbing wrong. Again, always, the fabric never softens, and neither does the day. But in this roughness, you find shape. In this grind, you find rhythm. You start the next line, a little slower, a little heavier, but you started. And that is enough. You reach the final row, the last patch of ground for the day. Your rake drags slower now. The resistance in the earth feels stronger, or maybe you've just reached that edge where everything starts to blur, where time dissolves, where movement becomes habit. You pause and straighten your back. A crack runs through your spine, not painful, just loud, like your body sighing through its own tired script. You look down at your hands, red, swollen, dirt ground into the lines. The blisters from last week have hardened now. They're no longer wounds, just new layers. Badges, maybe, if anyone handed out medals for endurance. You wipe your brow, your sleeve is stiff. It leaves behind a smear of mud and sweat. You don't mind, the sun is slanting now. Afternoon maybe, or late, it's hard to say. You measure the day, not by hours, but by how your body feels. And now, it feels heavy, deeply, absolutely heavy. You sit, just for a moment, on the edge of the field, the rake beside you like a tired friend. You close your eyes again, not to sleep, but to listen. The breeze has softened, the birds sound different, the world has lost its sharpness. Everything is muted, calmer. You let your hands rest on your knees, palms open, shoulders down. There's no audience, no applause, but inside, somewhere deep, where no one else can see, there is a flicker of quiet pride. You did this, again, like yesterday, like the day before, and maybe like tomorrow. You open your eyes. The horizon is lined with trees, thin and dark. Their branches sway gently, like they're whispering secrets to the wind. You stand slowly. Your legs shake. Your knees argue, but you rise anyway. Because this getting up, is part of the ritual. The proof that you're not done, not yet. You carry the rake back to the shed. Each step leaves a faint print in the soil. You wonder how long those prints will last. An hour, a day, until the next rain, maybe less. The shed is dim. You lean the rake against the wall. It falls once. You pick it up. Try again. This time it stays. You run your fingers along its handle, rough and splintered, familiar. You whisper something to it. Not words, just breath. A thank you maybe, or something softer. You walk toward the hut. The path is uneven. The stones shift beneath your steps. But you don't trip. You know every dip, every bump. Your body moves from memory now. Muscle memory, pain memory, survival memory. A pot waits by the door. You lift it. Not heavy, but your arms are done carrying. You adjust your grip. Hold it close, like something breakable. Inside, maybe water, maybe scraps for dinner. Whatever it is, it means more work. You don't mind, you expect it. You step into the doorway. Inside, the air is thicker. Smells of smoke and cooked grain. You set the pot on the hearth. Add wood. Blow gently. The fire catches slowly, like it's tired too, but it rises because it must. You sit beside it. Let your fingers hover near the warmth. The heat doesn't burn. It soothes, slowly, deeply, and you breathe. Long, deliberate, quiet. Your clothes are stiff with sweat. Your hair clings to your neck. Your knees ache. But there's peace here, not comfort, not ease, just peace. The kind that comes after hard labor, after giving everything and still standing. You lean your head back, let your eyes close again, and in that stillness, you feel resilient, you feel alive, and for tonight, that is enough. The fire has died down now, just embers, red and quiet, like the end of a thought. You sit near it, knees drawn, in your back curved like a question you've stopped asking. The others have gone still, not asleep yet, just drifting, breathing softly, a shared silence, not from peace, but from exhaustion, the kind that melts language, that turns conversation into breath. You stir the embers gently with a stick. Watch the sparks rise and fall like tiny memories, too small to hold. The room smells of smoke and wool, a little bread, a hint of ash, familiar, wrapped in the kind of softness that doesn't comfort, but at least doesn't wound. You close your eyes just to rest them, just for a minute. But behind your eyelids, images wait, faint and flickering, a face, a hand, a sound you haven't heard in years. You don't know if it's memory or dream. You never do. It comes back sometimes, not fully, just shadows. A laugh at the edge of hearing, a scent in the wind. You see your mother's hands, kneading dough, wiping a tear from your cheek, holding yours during the fever. You see the curve of her mouth when she tried not to cry. You see the back of her head as she walked into the rain, gone. You open your eyes again. The fire has shifted, a soft crack, a glow. You touch your cheek. It's damp. You hadn't noticed. You wipe it quickly, quietly. No one must see, not because it's shameful, but because it's yours. And here, grief is private. You hear someone shift in their straw bed, a cough, a whisper, then stillness again. You stand slowly, your legs resist, you let them. You walk to the door, open it without a sound, and step into the night. The village sleeps. The sky above is velvet black. No stars, just cloud, just darkness. Soft and full like a blanket you can't quite shake off. You breathe it in. The cold stings your nose. It reminds you that you're awake, that you're here, that the past is not coming back, and the future hasn't arrived. You sit on a low step outside the hut. The earth is damp beneath you. You don't mind. You like the feeling. It grounds you. You tilt your head back, let the air settle on your face. And for a moment, time dissolves. You could be 10 or 20 or 60. The ache is the same, the longing, the spaces that never filled in. You remember someone's voice, a lullaby, soft, gentle, a song about the moon and a lamb. You hum it, so faintly even you can't hear it, but your chest remembers the melody. Your heart holds the rhythm. You feel tears press again, but they don't fall. They settle, the way dew settles on grass. The door behind you creaks. You don't move. Whoever it is, they step outside, then stop. They know the space belongs to memory now. They return inside, and you are alone. In that strange, sacred way, you lie back slowly, let your body rest on the packed dirt. It's cold, uneven, but honest. You stare at the sky, a single cloud shifts, then settles, like a thought coming and going. You exhale, long, deliberate, and something inside you softens. Not healed, not hopeful, just softened. You close your eyes again, just for a second. A breeze passes, and with it something faint, a scent you can't name, something from childhood, from spring, from a time when dreams still had sharp edges. You reach for it, but it fades, like always. You shift slightly on the ground. The earth beneath you is neither soft nor hard. It simply accepts your weight the way it always does. Without judgment, without invitation, just presence. You open your eyes again. The sky hasn't changed. No stars, no moon, just a thick, silent dark that wraps around your skin like a thought you're trying not to think. You listen to the wind brushing past the trees, to the faint creak of a door 2 houses down, to your own breath, shallow, careful a sound you could almost forget is yours. You remember a dream you had once, maybe years ago, maybe last night. You were walking through a field, golden, endless, and someone called your name, but you couldn't see their face. You ran, you smiled, you felt something so warm it woke you. And then it was gone, like steam from a cup, like song from a bird. You tried to return to it, that place, that warmth. But dreams, like bread, grow stale when you try to hold them too long. You sit up, hug your knees. The breeze has shifted now, colder. You pull your shawl tighter, but it doesn't stop the chill. Nothing ever does, not fully. Inside the hut, someone snores gently. Someone else coughs. A child murmurs something in their sleep. Words without shape. You smile softly. You used to speak in your sleep. Or so they told you. Words from dreams, secrets from your chest. You wonder if you still do. You wonder if anyone listens. You rest your chin on your knees. Think of hands you haven't held in years. Of voices that once knew your name, your laugh, the little things that made you you. But they're gone now. And so piece by piece, those parts fade too. You reach for a pebble, hold it in your palm. It's smooth, cool, solid, real. You clutch it, not tightly, just enough to remind yourself that something still touches you. You close your eyes again, this time longer. Images bloom slowly. A fire in a different room, a lap, a song. Someone brushing your hair with fingers, not a comb. You feel warmth on your cheek, maybe a kiss, maybe a hand, maybe just a memory of comfort. But it's enough to make your chest ache. Not from sadness, not from loss, from longing. That gentle ache of something once known, now distant. The kind that lives beneath your skin. You open your eyes, the pebble is still in your hand. You don't remember holding on, but you never let go. You place it beside you carefully, like it matters, like it holds a piece of something you can't name. Then you lie back again, let your arms stretch out beside you. Let the night cover your limbs like a blanket of darkness and forgotten songs. You breathe, and for a moment, your breath sounds like someone else's. From another time, a version of you that laughed more, that danced once, that believed. You blink, and she's gone. The trees whisper again, the wind sighs, and you close your eyes, trying to remember how it felt to be held, even just once, without the weight of everything that came after. You curl slightly to one side, not from cold, but from instinct. A position you used to take as a child when you were afraid of thunder. or when you just wanted to disappear into yourself. It feels familiar now, natural, like folding into memory. Your fingers rest over your heart, not to protect it, but to feel it, to remind yourself that it still beats, steady, quiet, loyal, a rhythm no one hears but you. You trace a line down your chest. You don't know why, just movement, just something for your hands to do while your thoughts wander. You feel a bruise, small, faint. You can't remember where it came from, but your body collects these marks, little reminders of living. You look up again, still no stars, just cloud, the kind that hides everything. Not to be cruel, just because that's what clouds do. You lie still, let your breath slow, let the weight of the day, the week, the year, press down in layers. You don't resist it, you allow it, the ache in your back, the scratch on your shin, the cold behind your knees. All of it becomes one long note, one single chord of vulnerability. You think of love, not romance, not passion, just love, the kind that stays quiet, the kind that holds your hand when you're sick, that remembers your favorite cup, that keeps your scarf folded even after you're gone. You don't know why that thought arrives now. Maybe the night invites it. Maybe it's the way silence makes room for things we usually ignore. You feel your lips part slightly, not for words, just to let air out. A kind of surrender, a kind of letting go. Inside the hut, someone begins to hum, soft, off-key, maybe for a child, maybe for themselves. You smile. It's not the melody that touches you, it's the tenderness. You wish you could hum too, but your voice feels too far away, or maybe you're afraid it would come out broken. So you stay quiet. Let others make sound. You offer your silence as witness, as gift. Your hand rests on your stomach now. The skin there is warm despite the night. You press gently, just to feel something, just to know where you begin and end. A moth flutters nearby. Its wings catch the moonless light. It dances for no one, no reason, but still it dances. You close your eyes again, and this time the darkness feels full, not empty, just full of things you're not meant to see yet. You listen to your breath, to the wind, to the hush of dreams starting to arrive in pieces. And you feel your body begin to drift. Not fall, not collapse, just loosen, like a knot slowly untied by time. You think of a hand in yours, no face, no voice, just the weight, the pressure, the certainty, and then the image slips away, like it always does. Because dreams here are shy, they visit, but they never stay long. You don't mind. You've learned to greet them gently, to let them go kindly. You curl tighter, your hands now folded like prayer. You whisper nothing, just breath, just the trace of a name you haven't spoken in years. And finally, you sleep. Not deeply, not safely, but enough. And in this enough, there is grace, there is rest, and there is love. The quiet kind that lingers long after morning takes it away. The night stretches wide around you, not loud, not cruel, just vast, deep, an endless quiet that breathes just beneath your ribs. You shift slightly in the straw. The texture is scratchy, uneven, but familiar. You've made peace with discomfort, or maybe you've forgotten what comfort used to mean. The blanket over you is thin, worn at the edges. It smells like smoke, dust. The days you've lived and the ones you're still moving through. You don't mind. It's not the blanket that keeps you warm. It's the memory of warmth. You curl tighter, not out of cold, but out of habit. The way leaves curl in on themselves before winter. You can hear the others breathing, a rhythm, uneven but steady. One cough, one snore, a soft rustle, life at rest. You count their breaths without realizing it, not to keep track, but to feel tethered, to remind yourself that even in this vast, fragile darkness, you are not alone. Your hand finds your stomach again. It rests there, quiet, still. You feel the rise and fall, slow, heavy. You think about morning, not with hope, not with dread, just with awareness, the knowledge that it will come, as it always does, whether you are ready or not, whether the sky is kind or grey. You listen to the wind tapping the edge of the window, just once, then again, as if it wants to speak, but doesn't know how. You close your eyes, let the sound drift through you, let it join the other sounds of night, the settling of wood, the stretch of silence, the faint hum of dreams passing through sleeping minds. You think of your mother's voice again, not a word, just tone, just the way her breath used to shape your name when you were very small. You think of that one night, long ago, when she sang to you in the dark, her hand brushing your hair back, her voice steady, even though you knew she was tired. That memory lives in you now, not sharp, just soft, like a worn stone in your pocket. You don't reach for it often, but tonight it finds you. You smile, not fully, just enough to lift one side of your mouth. You whisper her name, or maybe just think it. The sound never escapes. It doesn't need to. You pull the blanket higher, breathe into the fabric, your own warmth, recycled, delicate. You feel your eyes grow heavier, the way doors close slowly in old houses, the way candles flicker before sleep. You hear a creak above you, the roof settling. You wonder if the stars are out, if anyone is watching, if the moon still remembers how to shine. You don't need light to feel safe, just the rhythm of breath, just the weight of your body against the earth, just the echo of all the nights before this one. You shift again, a little deeper into the straw. You find a pocket of warmth where your leg had been. You press your foot into it. A small victory, a tiny return. You sigh, long, quiet. And in that sigh, you feel something release, not sadness, not fear, just the day, letting it go, letting it drop into the ground beneath you. You whisper again, maybe a word, maybe a sound. You're not sure. The language of sleep is ancient. It comes from the bones, not the tongue. And tonight, your bones are tired, but still here, still holding, still waiting for the light. The fire has gone out now, just ash, no heat, only memory. You don't rise to fix it. There's no need. This part of the night belongs to stillness. You hear a murmur from across the room, someone dreaming. Their voice rises, then fades, like a wave that never reaches the shore. You wonder what they're seeing. A forest, maybe, a hand reaching for theirs. Or maybe just quiet, pure, uninterrupted quiet. You adjust the blanket again, pull it over your shoulder. Feel the edge tuck beneath your chin. The weight is light, but somehow it helps. A kind of gentle reminder that something still holds you, even if only lightly. You let your head turn toward the wall. It's rough, cold, but it's been the same for years. You've watched shadows move across this wall through every season. You know how moonlight paints it silver in winter, how sunlight creeps across it in spring, how nothing changes, and yet everything does. Your fingers brush the straw beside you, searching, finding a softer spot. You press into it, you settle deeper, a deeper breath now. One that moves from your belly, from your spine, the kind of breath that lets your ribs drop, that tells your body it's okay to rest. The ache in your shoulders softens, the tension in your jaw releases. You listen again, but this time, not for sounds, for silence, for that soft hum beneath everything, the sound of existence, the room, the floor, the lives beside you, all vibrating in some quiet language you don't have to understand. You just have to hear. You let go of your thoughts, not all at once. They slip away one at a time. The way fog lifts when the sun begins to rise. You forget the list you meant to remember, the worry that tried to follow you into sleep. It loosens, floats upward, dissolves into the dark. Your legs relax now, heavy, warm, still. You stop trying to remember how many nights came before this one. You stop wondering how many more will follow. Tonight is enough. You feel your heartbeat slow, the rhythm is soft now, lazy. You count the space between beats, 1, 2, then you stop counting, because there's nothing left to measure. Just presence, just being, and the tiniest echo of hope, not the kind that rushes in like light, the kind that flickers, barely, a thought that maybe you'll wake to something new, or maybe not. But either way, you'll wake, and that will be enough. Your face turns slightly toward the center of the room. Someone is whispering in their sleep again. You can't hear the words, but the tone is kind, gentle. You wonder if they're dreaming of someone they love, or someone they've lost, or both. You blink, but your eyes are heavy now, not from crying, just from being awake, being alive, being someone who made it to this night. You feel the straw beneath you, the blanket above, the space beside you, all holding you, not tightly, just enough. You whisper something, a thank you maybe, or a name, or nothing, just a breath. And then you let go again, deeper, slower, further into the night. You lie there, not asleep, not awake, somewhere in between, a space where time folds, where everything slows. Your breath is quieter now. You barely hear it, but it's there, steady, like the wind moving through bare trees. Your chest rises and falls, not from effort, but from trust. You've given yourself to the night, to the dark, to the stillness. And the night, for all its emptiness, holds you, not tightly, but tenderly. You feel the weight of your fatigue, not as burden, but as truth, as evidence that you have lived through another day, that your body, however sore, however small, has carried you all the way here. You notice your fingers now, loosened, curled, resting, no longer gripping, reaching, working, just being, just at peace. A shadow moves across the wall, a breeze maybe, a branch, a thought. You don't follow it, you don't name it, you just let it pass. Like so many things, like seasons, like old songs. You hear someone shift under their blanket, then stillness again. The night has grown colder, but your body has adjusted. The chill doesn't bite anymore. It wraps around you like a reminder that even discomfort can be survived. Even cold has edges that soften. You sigh again, this time deeper, slower, like your whole body is exhaling, letting go of the list, of the ache, of the noise that never quite arrives. You think of the morning now, not with urgency, just as a distant bell, a shape on the horizon. It's not here yet, but it will come. It always does, even on the hardest days. Even when it's unwelcome, it still comes. And in that consistency, there is something comforting. You don't smile, but your body eases. As if somewhere inside your bones, remember you've made it through nights before. You will again. You nestle deeper into the straw. A small shift, a tender movement. You feel your heart slow just a little more. The beat is faint, gentle but strong, always strong. Your thoughts, once loud, have faded now. No more questions, no more remembering, just shadows, shapes, the outline of dreams. You don't try to control them, you don't even chase them, you just open to them. Let them arrive however they wish. A garden, a river, a hand, a word. You blink once more, but your eyes don't open again. There's no need. Nothing left to see, nothing left to do. You are here, and that is enough. Your shoulders sink, your jaw unclenches, your lips part slightly in that final breath before sleep, and the world, all of it, falls away, slowly, kindly, into softness, into darkness, into rest. The night has wrapped itself around you completely now. The fire is long gone. The voices have quieted. The wind no longer knocks. Everything has settled into something deeper than silence, into something closer to peace. You are curled in a rom, not moving, not thinking, just breathing. The world, for this brief moment, has asked nothing more of you, and you have given it your stillness. You feel the ground beneath you, not hard, but grounded, a place to rest, a place to let your body fall without fear. Your fingers are still, your legs are still, even your heartbeat feels like a whisper. There is no rush now, no duty, no sound, just the shape of sleep curling around you like a long, forgotten lullaby. You shift slightly in the straw and find the warm pocket where your body just was. You nestle into it, like a memory, like a cradle. You let your mind drift slowly, wandering toward light that hasn't arrived yet. You imagine spring, not with flowers, not with songs, just the smell of thawing earth, the way the sun lingers a moment longer than before, the way the air carries birds again. You picture your bare feet in grass, cold then warm, the way dew collects between your toes and disappears before noon. You don't speak, but in your chest, something blooms, quietly, softly, like something that has waited all winter for this moment. You don't chase the feeling, you let it come, and as it fills you, you hear the words not from your lips, but from deep inside. I'm still here. One more day, the phrase repeats, not loudly, not urgently, just like breath, just like truth. I'm still here. One more day. A beat, a breath, a promise. You let it echo inside you. You feel your jaw loosen, your eyelids soften, your toes uncurl. You are floating now, not in space, but in time, between what was and what might be, and none of it asks anything of you. Just rest, just now, just this. The roam cradles your weight. It shifts as you do, accepts the curve of your spine, the shape of your hope. You dream without images, just sensations, the feeling of being held, the warmth of something that once was. You don't need clarity, you don't need plot, you just need softness. And softness is here. It's in the way the darkness no longer feels hollow. It's in the way the cold doesn't bite anymore. It's in the way your body no longer aches. It only exists. You whisper again, but this time not to be heard, just to remember how it feels. I'm still here, one more day. You let those words carry you, through straw, through stillness, through the last stretch of night. You imagine tomorrow, just briefly, a sliver of sky, a wooden bowl, a hand brushing your shoulder, a bird calling out, once then never again. Enough to remind you that life will come again, but not yet, not now, Now is for forgetting. Now is for folding. Now is for floating. You let your breath fall deeper, longer, each inhale softer than the last, each exhale slower. You begin to disappear into the roam, not like vanishing, like returning, as if every part of you was always meant to be here, in this straw, in this night, in this hush. The sounds fade, the air stills, the world narrows to warmth and rhythm. You feel your own body from a distance, light, empty, weightless, and still, whole. You are still here. One more day, one more hour, one more breath. That is enough. That is always enough. And now, may you rest, as peacefully as those who lived long ago. You are still lying there, the ROM beneath you, settling slowly, like dust drifting downward in an untouched room. It's quiet, not just around you, but inside. The kind of quiet that only comes when you've let go of every sound, every word, every task waiting for tomorrow. You are not drifting anymore. You are floating, not upward, not forward, just gently inward. The lines of your body blur at the edges. Your toes forget to hold tension. Your shoulders no longer wait for the next burden. The space behind your eyes, where the weight of thought usually gathers, is now empty, not vacant, but clear. You feel your chest rise, not out of effort, but habit, and then lower again, like an echo of breath that began before you ever noticed. You are not dreaming yet, but you are close, so close that the air around you feels thicker, softer, like it's holding you in place. You begin to imagine a place you've never seen but somehow know. A hillside, dotted with low trees. The sun is rising not suddenly, but slowly. Like it too is waking. The grass is short, pale, covered in dew, and each drop of dew holds a tiny spark of gold. There's no one else there, just you and the morning. And you walk, barefoot, without urgency. The earth is soft beneath your soles, the kind of soft that tells you are welcome here. You stop to kneel, to press your palm to the ground. It's cool, firm, alive, and for a moment, you remember what it feels like to belong, truly, without proving, without chasing, just being allowed. You hear a sound far off, maybe a bell, maybe a songbird. You don't look for it, you don't name it, you just let it arrive and pass, like everything else. The warmth on your skin grows, the sun is higher now, you tilt your face toward it, you close your eyes, and all you feel is light, not blinding, not searing, just kind. You are not in the straw anymore, not in the hut. You're somewhere between now and always, between the day you were born and the day you will return to the earth. But none of that frightens you, because in this moment, there is no fear, only stillness, only rest, and the deep, quiet knowledge that you are still here. One more day, you open your eyes, not in the dream, but in your body. You are still lying in the straw. The room is still dark, but you feel different, as if a layer of tiredness has lifted, as if your breath is deeper, as if you've been seen by something, by time, by the sky, by the night itself. You press your hand to your chest. The beat is there, familiar, unrushed. You whisper again, I'm still here. One more day. And that's the prayer, the lullaby, the truth. Not shouted, not written, just known. You hear the faintest rustle beside you. A mouse, maybe, or wind. You don't flinch. You let it move past. The world doesn't stop while you sleep. But for a while, it leaves you be. And in that grace, there is peace. The kind of peace that doesn't need candles, or silence, or songs. Just breath. Just a roof. Just the memory that this life, however worn, is still yours. And now it is safe to let it go, just for the night. You let the world fall away, not with force, but with softness, as if night itself were brushing your thoughts aside, one by one. You no longer carry the cold, the ache, the weight. They have slipped off your shoulders like an old cloak. The room around you fades. The straw becomes a cloud. The roof becomes sky. And the hush becomes a cradle. You are not dreaming, not yet. But you are no longer here either. You are in between, held in the hands of something older than fear, something gentler than memory, something you don't have to name. And in that space, you whisper it again, not for anyone to hear, not even for yourself, just for the night. I'm still here, one more day. The breath that follows carries the last bit of you into sleep. Not the kind of sleep that forgets, but the kind that forgives, that softens, that holds. And now, may you rest as peacefully as those who lived long ago